Hey guys, today I want to show you guys a new electric guitar that I just got, and I'm pretty excited for this one. This is a pretty expensive guitar. This has cost me $2,000 US. It's a fairly expensive guitar, and I want to show you guys my live reactions with you as I open up this case and take a look at the guitar. It's my first time to take a look at this guitar, and yeah, this is the Yamaha Revstar RSP20. This is the professional version. So Yamaha, for those of you guys who don't know, is a Japanese company that makes a whole bunch of different products. They make motorcycles, they make audio equipment. I actually have a Yamaha amplifier actually. And they also make musical instruments like pianos and guitars. And I think because they make so much stuff, people don't really think too much of Yamaha guitars because it's just another part of their business. But Yamaha guitars, especially the Revstar, has gotten a lot of acclaim in recent years for being affordable and good value, and just providing great sounding, great playing guitars. And I think these days they are getting more recognition, especially the Revstar series. And the standard series, which is made in Indonesia, has gotten a lot of praise. That one is, everyone's saying it's one of the best value guitars you can get under $1,000. For me, I actually got the Japan version. This is the higher end, made in Japan version, the professional series, because it happened to have a color that I really like that's exclusive to Japan. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. Just like with my Gresh Player's Jet, I did basically a first impressions of that, video of that a couple months ago, earlier this year. And that was an expensive guitar as well. So I think for something like this, for like a expensive guitar, I want you to show you guys my first impressions and reactions of it, okay? So this is the case that it comes in. It was very well packaged, just like you would expect from a high-end Japanese guitar. Very sturdy, hard shell case. That's what you expect from a high-end guitar, right? Not just a gig bag, but like a hard shell case like this, which I actually prefer something in between. Like this is the Takamine case that I got when I got which Takamine is another Japanese guitar company, but this is the case I got. It's like kind of halfway between a gig bag and a hard shell case. So you guys can see it's not just the typical gig bag. There is a lot of protection in there. I would have preferred something like that because the thing with hard shell cases is that yeah, it's very heavy. Like sure, they protect the guitar very well, but it's also very heavy and cumbersome. And a gig bag is very easy to bring, it's light, and it's easy to carry, but it doesn't offer as much protection. I would have preferred something like that Takamine bag, which is padded. It's like a kind of like a midway between a hard shell and a gig bag. So you got the protection, and also at the same time you carry on your back. So anyways, that's just a personal preference. I never really like these kind of hard shell cases. I know they provide a lot of good protection, but they're just so heavy and it's hard to bring to different places. Anyways, all right, let's open up this guitar. So this is the Yamaha Revstar RSP20, and this is in a very special finish too. That was Japan only, so that's why I got the Japanese version. All right, and again, $2,000 guitar. You guys ready? Open it up. Take a look. All right. Dun 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 dun. Oh man, yeah, this looks really good. Yeah, so this is the finish I got. It's called Moonlight Blue. Really nice. So yeah, I just want to see what else comes in here. Okay, so of course you got the Yamaha stuff here. Let's see what else you got. You got, oh okay. So I got like kind of a certificate of authenticity kind of thing here. So yeah, this one is this fine guitar was individually handcrafted to the strictest of standards by the highly skilled master luthiers of Yamaha in Hamamatsu, Japan. Okay, so this was this was manufactured in Hamamatsu, Japan, and so the Japanese line of guitars are very similar to the standard line that are built in Indonesia. The main differences being, I believe, an extra carbon fiber rod in the body, and this initial response acceleration thing. So the initial response acceleration is a set of vibrations applied to the guitar that's meant to increase resonance and sustain, and just open up the guitar a lot more and make it sound like a played-in guitar. And this is something that's exclusive to the Japanese, like the Japanese higher-end models, the professional models. So yeah, so this one is you got the check marks here off this list, right? So you can see there is action electric finish, initial response acceleration, model is RSP20, and assembled by, I even got the signature of the guy who assembled it, so that's pretty cool. K Ogawa or something. Okay, interesting. So it's almost like getting a custom shop guitar, actually. So this is $2,000, which is a lot of money, but if you think about it, right, custom shop level guitars from Gibson and Fender are like thousands and thousands of dollars. So yeah, if you think about that, this is like a custom shop level guitar. I know Yamaha also has a custom shop as well, but I think the professional series are already like custom shop level. Then they got a manual here in all different languages, and I think these are for all the versions of the guitars too. So yeah, this is not just for the Revstar. I think this is for all different versions because they got like tremolos and stuff like that. But anyways, there's like a little handbook here for owner's manual for all their different guitars. That's not just for Revstar. Let's see, what else? This is in different languages. Oh, this is just distributors. Okay, that's from the place I got it from. Okay. Anyways, the important thing is I got that certificate of authenticity there, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Nothing else. It's just an Allen key here. Yeah. I get just a set of Allen keys right here, and then a little key for the case, because you can lock the case, right? So there's a key for the case and an Allen key to adjust the action, should you so desire, to adjust the saddles, the bridge saddles, essentially. Okay, so otherwise, yep, that's the case. Doesn't come with too much case candy, just the essentials, the basics. All right. Ooh, man, this guitar is definitely on the heavier side. It's not like the heaviest. Well, actually, it might be the heaviest. I actually like to have a lot of light guitars, so this one is pretty much similar to the Gresh player's jet that I had before. So it's definitely, it's like maybe closer to 8 pounds. It's like maybe just below 8 pounds, 7.5 to 8 pounds, I would say, is how much this weighs. So it's definitely one of my heavier guitars. I don't like to have guitars over 8 pounds. That's like my limit. I actually have some of the lightest electric guitars. I have a Godin Fifth Avenue. That's a fully hollow. That's like a 5.5 pound guitar, really light. I have this is my Gresh Electromatic Thunderblock Jr. This one is what, 6.5 pounds or something, semi-hollow. This is a pretty light guitar. And then my G&L, my Fender Stratocaster, weigh around 7 to 7.5. Then my Duesenberg, I think, is pretty light too. My Duesenberg's around 7. So yeah, this is probably my heaviest guitar at around 7.5 to 8 pounds. I don't like to have really heavy guitars. This is probably going to be the heaviest. But yeah, you guys can see this finish, right? It's a moonlight blue finish. This is exclusive to the Japanese professional models. I would have actually gone for the standard models because I heard good things about them. People compare the standard versus professional. Even though the standard is made in Indonesia, the quality standards are still very high, and the Japanese, of course, the Japanese made models are still going to be a little bit better in terms of the fit and finish, but still, I mean, I would have actually gone for the Indonesia standard models if they had this color, but this color is exclusive to the Japanese made ones. So yeah, that's why I went for this one. So yeah, let's go over what we see here. So yeah, this is my first Yamaha guitar. I've never had a Yamaha guitar before. Just heard really good things about them, and the Revstar really caught my interest because it's like Chris Buck is probably the most well-known user these days of the Revstar, and asked why he likes the Revstar. I think one of his reasons was just it didn't look like other guitars. There's no obvious influence from another guitar. I think the closest would be the Gibson SG. Although it's not exactly like an SG. Like, as you can see, it's asymmetrical, whereas an SG is symmetrical. So it's not exactly like an SG, but still, I mean, I think that's the closest it would come to. But it's pretty much almost a unique original design. Kind of reminds me of some Reverends as well, but overall I would say it's fairly unique. Alright, so now let's talk about the specs of this guitar. So this body is a chambered mahogany and maple body, I believe. The chambered is important. This was not in the first generation of Revstars, so this is the second generation Revstar. The first generation just had like a nice solid body. It didn't have any chambering, so it was actually heavier than this. So the second generation has a chambered body, which also relieves the weight, makes it lighter to hold, and also increases the acoustic resonance as well. So yeah, I believe it does enhance the acoustic properties and everything. Most people who have, I've seen a lot of YouTube reviews and stuff, most people who have both generations of Revstar say that overall the second generation seems to be a bit better with the resonance and of course the weight. The neck, this is a rosewood neck, I believe. Looks like a 12-inch radius. So yeah, this is a pretty flat neck, so it's pretty good to solo on. What's cool about this one is, about the Revstars, is that they actually have carbon reinforced neck and also the body on the professional version, which this one is. So yeah, on the standard Revstars and this one, they have carbon rods reinforcing the neck to make it more stable. And then on the professional versions, which is this Japan-made version, they have carbon rods on the body as well to increase the stability. So yeah, and then of course the initial response acceleration, which is what Yamaha Labs, they kind of put specific vibrations on parts of the body to make it open up more. That's something that's done on the Japanese version only as well. So yeah, I believe a 12-inch radius, rosewood neck. Actually, it could be more. It could be even 16 inches. Yeah, it doesn't actually say on the website what radius it is, but yeah, 12-inch to 16-inch. I would say this is a pretty flat radius. You see the headstock right here. You have the Yamaha logo, the 3 tuning forks, which they use on all their products. And on the back here, you can see that this version is the made in Japan version. So yeah, it has a special little lettering there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is what the back looks like right here. Back. Yep, just solid back. Actually not that dissimilar from what you would find in a Gibson. But yeah, what I really like about it is the moonlight blue finish is really nice. I really do like blue a lot. I normally, when I saw the other finishes on the regular standard Revstar, I wasn't a big fan. There was like a yellow one, there was like a blue one, but it was too bright blue. I like this darker blue a lot better. So this moonlight blue is definitely my color. And then these pickups, which is interesting. This is the Yamaha specific pickups. And what's special about it is they have some special circuitry inside of it. So these are Yamaha made humbuckers. They're called YGD, I think is what it says. Anyways, they're Yamaha designed humbuckers. They're specific to Yamaha. They tune them in a way where you have a 5-way selector switch, even though it's actually only 2 pickups. And the reason for that is because they wanted to get more versatility in the tones. So you can lodge them in the 2nd and 3rd positions. And there's no middle pickup here, but the 2nd and 4th positions, sorry. The 2nd and 4th positions, they add kind of like an out of phase type tone. So that's what Yamaha added. Normally, if you have 2 pickups, you usually only get 3 pickup positions, right? You get neck, middle, and you get bridge. But in Yamaha's case, yeah, they added 2 extra positions in the 2nd and 4th selector, where it's just kind of more of an out of phase tone. And then, yeah, I'm gonna play some of that and show you guys how that sounds like. I actually have no idea what that sounds like. And then we have another push-pull switch here. So we got a volume control, we got a tone control, and then we got a passive focus switch that's just supposed to, I guess, increase the, the focus switch is a passive boost with an effect similar to overwound pickups. So darker highs, increased mids and lows, and an aggressive character. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'll also have to test this to see what the switch actually does and what it sounds like. But yeah, volume control, tone control, and then a switch on the tone control to kind of increase the amount of boost. Actually, it's a boost, right, to increase the amount of mids and lows. So that's what that does. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's also the P90 versions, and actually the P90 versions would have been probably what I preferred, but these humbucker versions are the only ones for this color. Unfortunately, they did not make every color with both types of pickups. They only made this moonlight blue color with humbuckers. If it came with P90s, I would have preferred to get that one actually. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The Yamaha Revstar RSP20 in moonlight blue. What an amazing looking finish that is. As you can see, and I do like the inlays as well. They're not like block inlays or anything, they're like stripe inlays. It's actually pretty uniform, except for the 12th fret. But all the other Yeah, it's fairly uniform. Yeah, it's a very flat neck. Again, I think 12 to 16 radius neck. It's a bound neck, and the nut looks like a tusk nut. Actually, it does not look like a bone nut. It looks like some kind of synthetic tusk nut. It's got a two-pneumatic style bridge, like you would see in Gibsons, and a tailpiece, like what you would see in Gibsons. So I guess this directly, to me, even though the design is pretty original, it takes the most inspiration from the Gibson SG. Because yeah, this is like two-pneumatic bridge, and this tailpiece here is very reminiscent of a Gibson. Humbuckers obviously as well, come like PAF pickups from Gibson. And this whole shape looks like kind of like an SG that's been more like, yeah, they increased the asymmetric part of the horns, kind of curved it out a bit, which I do like more. I don't like the SG that much actually. I think I prefer this a lot more over the SG. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You got strap buttons right here, and then the electronics plate right there, and truss rod cover right there. Yep, and regular tuners. They're not locking tuners, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. I'm also curious what these humbuckers are like, because I do have a plan to replace these humbuckers anyways. I'm personally just a fan of more vintage sounding humbuckers, or vintage sounding pickups, I would say. So yeah, these ones, I'm just gonna check them out to see how they're like. I might like them, but you know, the thing is, I think these are more like modern style humbuckers. So I have a few different upgrades for this guitar, but we'll get around to that later. First, I want to check out the sound of these pickups. These look to me like a modern style humbucking pickup, so I'm expecting like kind of a higher output from them. And also, yeah, I'm excited to check out the different pickup positions, and this push-pull pot right here, the switch, push-pull switch. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what it sounds like. And yeah, the input jack right there as well. Forgot to talk about that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna do a demo, bring my small tube amp out here, and then we'll see how this sounds like. Alright, so now I have the Yamaha Revstar RSP20 Professional plugged into the Swart Atomic Junior. This is a 5-watt hand-wired Class A tube amp, kind of similar to like a Fender Champ. Has 6v6 tubes. The volume set to about 6, tone set to about 7. Reverb, yes, has a full built-in reverb set to 4. And I also have the Boss Angle Driver. This is a overdrive pedal for some overdrive and distortion. But right now, first we're going to test out the clean tones, and these are the Yamaha YGD humbuckers. I don't know why they call them YGD, but I'm assuming these are going to be modern sounding humbuckers, which are going to be a little, you know, higher gain. Volume and tone are both set to full. Okay, so here's the neck humbucker. Pretty high output, as expected, not vintage output. Then I'm going to set to the out of phase neck position. It's slightly different. And then the middle position. Now the bridge out of phase position. And the bridge in phase position. Yeah, it's interesting, the in phase and out of phase positions. They're like slightly different, not too different. Has a more nasally tone, which I guess that's what you would expect for an out of phase type sound anyways. There's some people who use the Peter Green type humbuckers where like the neck pickup is like flipped to out of phase, and it gets like a more nasally tone, and I think that's generally what we're expecting from out of phase sound. Is like it's a more nasally tone, so that's what we're hearing here as well, right? Like this is in phase. Tune. So I'm going to double check here. Okay, So this is in tune. I mean, not in tune. All right. So this is in phase. This is out of phase. So yeah, it's a more of a nasally sound. And same thing, bridge. Bridge in phase. Bridge out of phase. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, they're very much like modern sounding humbuckers, and by that I mean like these humbuckers have a lot of clarity and also a lot of power, so they sound very loud. Like I have it set to 6, but you know, compared to something like my Gresh Electromatic Center Block Junior, which has the TV Jones Zoomtron pickups, which are more like Filtertrons. Yeah, compared to that, this one definitely has more higher output. And yeah, it has a lot of clarity, but also has high output as well. So you guys can hear there's a lot of volume coming out of these pickups. I have my volume just set to 6, and it sounds like, honestly, my vintage output pickups, which I usually play with more vintage output pickups. Like I have the Strat single coils, and I have gold foils, and I have Filtertrons. Yeah, like with more of my my vintage style pickups, I have to set the volume to about like 8 or 9 to get this level of output. But for these pickups, they're very modern sounding, so they have a lot of output. Even at I set the volume to 6, they have a lot of output. They sound pretty loud, and they also have a lot of clarity, so they're not dark sounding at all. Yeah, so I would say that these Yamaha YGD pickups, yeah, it seems like they're pretty high gain, high output, but it's not dark sounding. It's not muddy sounding, it's not dark sounding. It's got a lot of clarity to them. A lot of clarity, a lot of power is how I would use to describe them. I'm sure it's this way for their other pickups too. There are newer Yamaha Pacifica pickups, which are using the Rupert Neve design pickups. I wonder how those are like. I think they might be kind of like this. And also the new PRS narrow field pickups as well, I think. All these modern designs, generally, I think they're aiming for high output power without being muddy. So in general, this is what it sounds like. High clarity, so you get a lot of clarity and a lot of power, a lot of output without sounding muddy or anything. Also, this neck is really comfortable to play. It's very fast playing neck. So it does remind me of the neck on the Gresh Players Jet that I also reviewed a couple months back, earlier this year. Yeah, it's very fast playing neck. So yeah, the thing is, I like this design actually even better than the Gresh Players Jet, because even though the Gresh Players Jet had all this gold hardware and stuff and looks really fancy and cool, this one has the proper blue burst that I wanted. The Midnight Sapphire burst on that Gresh was not very Midnight Sapphire. It was just closer to black. This one actually looks pretty blue. This moonlight blue, so that's one thing I like about it. Also the shape, right? So it's not a single cutaway, it's a double cutaway. So it's more comfortable to play overall. About the same weight as the Gresh Players Jet though, about the same weight. And the neck is just as fast playing, just as comfortable. I can easily make like solo runs on this thing, I think pretty easily. So it's very comfortable to play, and easy to play fast on this thing, and it's got a pretty flat radius. Pretty similar to that Gresh actually. It gets pushed into distortion pretty easily, or overdrive I should say. It gets pushed into overdrive pretty easily if I push the amp playing hard. very easy to play. This neck's very fast, very comfortable. Overall, yeah, and these pickups, these humbuckers are very like modern sounding humbuckers, like very high output, but a lot of clarity, so it doesn't get muddy or anything. So it's yeah, I think these humbuckers are good, but I think I would still prefer the vintage style humbuckers. For me, it's a little bit too high output. Like it's good for like a high gain, like rock sound, like heavy rock sound. I think these humbuckers are pretty good. But for me, you know, I play a lot of like blues and jazz and stuff, so I like to have more vintage sounding humbuckers. So it's a little bit too modern sounding for me. But hey, that's going to be one of the upgrades that I do later on. But yeah, this really reminds me of the Gresh Player's Jet that I had earlier this year, because that was also made in Japan. It also cost about the same price, about 2,000 bucks. Yeah, about the same fast playing neck, weighs about the same. Of course, the Gresh Player's Jet has Filtertrons, which are more vintage sounding than these. But actually, those are modern Filtertrons, so I guess they are kind of like these. Just these are still higher output. And I do like the shape of this better, double cutaway, and I do like the blue finish on this better than the Midnight Sapphire. I like the Moonlight Sapphire on this better than the Midnight Sapphire that was on the Gresh Player's Jet, because it just looks more blue. It doesn't actually look black like that Midnight Sapphire did. Okay, so that was just the clean sound actually. You guys might be hearing a bit of distortion, and that's just because of yeah, so that was just the clean sound actually. You guys might have been hearing a little bit of overdrive because it's very dynamic. So if I hit the strings hard, then this amp is small. It's a small 5-watt amp with a 8-inch speaker, so it overdrives pretty easily. So if I hit the strings hard, then it's gonna kind of overdrive the amp a bit. But yeah, that was all clean. That was without any pedals. So you guys are just hearing the natural overdrive from this tube amp here. Just to show you, it's a pretty dynamic sounding pair of pickups here, because I can play softly. Then it's gonna sound clean, right? Or I can play hard. Yeah. So, anyways, dynamic sounding pair of pickups there. But yeah, that was the naturally overdriving the tube amp just by hitting the strings hard. Now I'm gonna use the overdrive pedal. Let's see, you can use the Boss side, which is a blues driver. So this is what it's going to sound like with the Boss blues driver. Pull down the volume. It's actually we're getting really loud. I don't want to disturb the neighbors too much. So that's using the blues driver. Yeah, and this is using the JHS Angry Charlie, which is going to be even higher gain. This thing definitely can add a lot of overdrive and distortion. I forgot to test out the passive boost. So, all right, I'm curious to what this passive boost does. So, yeah, let's check it out here. So again, I'm going to be on the neck position. Let's play a few licks, then use the passive boost. Okay, that's without passive boost. Now turn on the boost. Supposed to add more mids and lows, but to me it sounds like just a little bit muddy. So this is without. This is with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like rolling back the tone control, right? Yeah, roll back the tone. And again, for me, I don't know why people would ever roll back the tone control. So those of you guys who are guitarists, let me know, because when you roll back the tone control, it just gets more muddy to me. So I don't know why you would want your tone to be more muddy. Like, I would just leave it on to full the entire time. I don't know what's the point of having a tone control. Like, why would you ever roll it back? It just sounds more muddy. Anyways, like when I pushed up the boost, it just sounds more muddy to me. It's almost like rolling back the tone control. It's like, roll back the tone control. It's a little bit more muddy. Turn up the passive boost. To me, it's just like rolling back the tone control. But why would you do that? That just gives your tone more mud to it. I don't know. There's people out there who like to roll back the tone controls, and I don't know why. For me, I just would never do that. I like that. Just to me, it's just like I would always keep my tone controls at 100%, because otherwise, you know, it's not going to sound as clear. It's just going to get more muddy, and I don't know why. Yeah. Anyways, for me, with my guitars, I always leave my tone controls at 100%. There's, for me, no reason to roll them back. Yeah, for me, what this little boost thing does is it's like rolling back the tone control and adding a little bit more volume. To me, that's what it's doing. It's like you set your volume up to about maybe, like this is at 10, right? But if there was a position to 12, you would set it to 12, and then you roll back the tone control. That's exactly what the switch is like doing for me. It's like adding a little bit more volume, but then making the tone more muddy. And to me, I would never do that. So yeah, I don't know. All right, let's try the bridge. Without boost, and then with the boost. I don't know why I would use that. Not good. Passive boost thing is pretty useless. It's almost like it's like dialing down the tone and then rolling the volume up even further to like 12 or something. And yeah, I don't see any reason I would ever use that, because I never roll back my tone control. I just don't see the point of that. You're just making your tone more muddy. Why would you make your tone more muddy? Right? There's no situation where I'd want to make my tone more muddy. I guess maybe certain genres of music. Like people talk about Clapton's woman tone. I guess that's just rolling down the tone. But to me, that's not a good tone. I don't want to have that tone. That's a muddy tone. That's a very warm tone. I understand. But to me, warm means a little bit, you know, muddy to me. Warm just sounds like more muddy to me to begin with. Like it'd be like this. You roll back the tone control, it'd be like. That's Clapton's woman tone, and I can boost it up now. Same thing with the heel. What is it? The heel down wah position, the cocked wah position. Yeah, some people like the cocked wah position. To me, that's also more muddy tone. Like there's some people that like that, but for me, I don't like these. Yeah, I don't like my tone to be like that. Yeah, it's like rolling back the tone control, having the cocked wah type of sound. No, that's like, it just, to me, it's like it's more very dark, and it doesn't have much clarity to it. I don't know why people like them. But anyways. Yeah, it sounds very muffled. guess some people prefer this one. Or rather this one. To this. I don't know, I prefer to have more clarity every time. Don't know why I'd ever use the switch, but yeah, I would never use the switch because it's just like rolling down the tone control, which I would never do. Okay, add more overdrive, I guess. Parallel mode. So yeah, you can definitely get a lot of output with these humbuckers. So these humbuckers are very high output, high gain, without sounding muddy. They have a lot of clarity, but at the same time they're very high output. Yeah, for me it's not really my type of style. I prefer to have more vintage output humbuckers or vintage output pickups. So I'm probably going to change these out in a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's just not that they're bad sounding. It's just for me, it's not for me because I don't like this modern high gain type of output. Yeah, I prefer more vintage output. But anyways, what's good about this is that it's good for modern music, heavy music, like metal or heavy rock. It's very easy to overdrive these things because they're already very high output, so it's very easy to add like a lot of distortion, overdrive to it. So yeah, so I think these humbuckers are definitely for people who like to play a lot of heavy music because yeah, very high output, high gain humbuckers, but they're not muddy or anything. They have a lot of clarity, unless you want to add this passive boost switch, in which case you can make them muddy if you want, but I don't want to make them sound muddy, so I'll never use that passive boost switch. The out of phase positions are interesting. They're like a slightly different, a little bit more nasally tone than the regular neck and bridge, but yeah, I mean, I can probably live without it, to be honest. I know Yamaha put it in as just sort of like kind of a fun thing to add some extra in between positions. But yeah, to me, I can live without the out of phase stuff. But it's there, so it's a few extra options for your tone. I don't know why they have this boost. I guess some people might like it, but for me, no, I don't want to make my tone more muddy. That's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on this. So yeah, that's for now. I think that's the demo of the stock guitar. And next, I'm going to upgrade it with new strings and new pickups. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Alright, so now I'm going to make a few upgrades to this Yamaha Revstar. So like I said, for me, these pickups are a little bit too high output and they're a little bit too modern sounding. I want something a little bit more vintage sounding. Not to say these are bad pickups. Like I said, they're good for, you know, for what they do, for what they're meant for. So a lot of modern players might like this guitar. Players who play like heavier music. For me, since I play a lot of jazz and blues and stuff, yeah, I want like more vintage output pickups. So that's why I went to TV Jones. So TV Jones is a third-party manufacturer of guitar pickups, and they make some pretty good Gretsch style pickups, I would say. So they're probably most well known for their TV classics, which are just like vintage reproductions of Filtertrons. But this time I'm going for something a little bit different. So I actually have a guitar with TV Jones pickups already, which is the Gresh Electromatic Center Block Junior. So these are using the TV Jones Paul Yandel Dualtrons, as you guys can see, pretty unique looking pickups. And I had good experience with these. However, I wanted to try something a little bit different, right? So these are kind of like a mix of a vintage Filtertron and like something like a heavier PAF, right? Something like in between. So these Dualtrons are almost like an in-between Filtertron and PAF type sound. But for me, trying something a little bit different each time, because I like to try new things, right? So this time I'm going to try out the Zoomtrons. So the Zoomtrons are kind of a newer pickup design from TV Jones. So I'll show you guys what they look like. So first of all, yeah, TV Jones always gives some instructions for assembling the pickup and stuff, because they have different mounts depending if you're using like humbuckers, like a traditional Gibson style mount or like a Gresh style mount. They give you different installation instructions for that. They'll even tell you like the pickup heights. So this is like the pickup height you should have, and what kind of pots you should use, like 500K pot. Yeah, this was like different universal mount versus like wood screw mount here. So they give you a lot of good instructions for installing the pickups, because it comes with a lot of different varieties. But yeah, these are, I believe, more like Gibson style mounts. They're not Gresh style mounts at all. And most companies which have humbuckers use Gibson style mounts. So yeah, these are what the Zoomtrons look like. Let me get the other one out first too. You guys can see this is a new pickup design that TV Jones made like maybe like 2 years ago. They came out with this. Yeah. So I was thinking about getting Lawler gold foils or Lawlertrons, since I had experience with those before from Lawler pickups. I have a few different third-party pickup manufacturers I like. I like Lindy Fralin, Seymour Duncan, Lawlers, TV Jones, like the Bare Knuckles. I mean, these are all good options, but yeah, I went with the Zoomtrons because these are pretty unique to TV Jones. I don't know how many other people make something like this. This is what they look like, and they cost around $350 for these two. So it's a set, neck and a bridge. So both of these are made in the US, of course. Usually with these third-party pickup makers, if they're US-based, so you're usually just hand-wound in the US. Yeah, you guys can see they're pretty unique-looking pickups. So far, I don't know how many other pickup makers make something like this, but essentially, what this is so for the DeArmond and Dynasonic type pickups. So DeArmond is a pickup manufacturer that goes way back, I think, to the 1930s, and they make a lot of the earliest guitar pickups. And one of their designs was pretty successful, and Gresh used it on their guitars and rebranded them the Dynasonic. So the Dynasonic pickups are kind of like these bigger Alnico style magnets, and they have a unique tone to them themselves. I actually had a guitar with Dynasonic pickups before, actually the Gresh White Penguin. And that was a video I did many years ago, almost 10 years ago now, where I had the Gresh White Penguin and I demoed the Dynasonic pickups. And they sound like almost like a fatter version of a Stratocaster. So it's almost like they're actually pretty close to a Jazzmaster style pickup, to be honest. So Jazzmaster style pickups are pretty different, I would say, than P90 or a Fender style single coil. So, I mean, the Strat style single coil is what I'm talking about. So the Stratocaster single coil, which is kind of low output, and then there's the Gibson P90, which is a higher output single coil, and then the Fender Jazzmaster, which is closer to a P90, but not quite as high output as or not quite as dark sounding as a P90, and then the Gresh Dynasonic, which is a little bit closer to a Jazzmaster. I think it had a leave in a little bit more high end than the Jazzmaster did. So the Zoomtrons. So TV Jones have been making reproductions of the DeArmond style / Dynasonic style pickups for a long time, called the T-Armonds. And the Zoomtrons are basically the humbucker version of the T-Armonds, which are basically the Dynasonics. So yeah, these are basically humbucking versions of the Dynasonic pickups. And this is pretty amazing because I don't know how many other pickup makers make something like this. And they really should have been making something like this for a long time, right? So the Dynasonics, which are DeArmonds, have been around for for many, many years. I mean, they were one of the first pickup designs. I mean, if you're talking about P90s go way back, right, to the 1940s. And then the Dynasonics, I think, which are T-Armands, D-Armand style pickups, they're like early 1950s. So you're talking about a pickup design from the early 1950s, and nobody thought to make them humbuckers, huh? So that's pretty interesting. TV Jones, apparently, just in the last few years, they came out with the Zoomtrons, which are supposed to be the humbucking version of the Dynasonics. And apparently nobody else has thought about making the Dynasonic a humbucker for like the past 70 years. The Dynasonic's been around for a very long time, or the D-Armand style, you know, these kind of pickups. Yeah, they've been around for a very long time, since the early 1950s. I wonder why nobody thought to make them humbuckers until now. But it's a cool, cool idea, and it got me interested. That's why I got the Zoomtrons. And yeah, you'll even notice that the bridge one is a little bit thicker than the neck one. And that's exactly how it is like on the Yamaha Revstar too, where the bridge is pushed up a little bit higher than the neck. That's because the bridge is overall higher output, and usually on modern style pickups, the bridge is higher output to compensate for the loss of string energy near the bridge, which makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna try these out. Also, if you guys are wondering, no, these are not Filtertrons. Okay, Filtertrons are not humbucking versions of Dynasonics. They're actually completely different pickup design by themselves, because they're made by a different designer. So like as I mentioned, Dynasonics come from a D-Armand design by Harry D-Armand. The Filtertrons are designed by a Gresh employee called Ray Butts. So they're different designs from different designers. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, nobody thought to make a humbucking version of the Dynasonic pickups, whereas the Filtertrons are not humbucking Dynasonic pickups. They're just a totally different design by a different designer, which is another good design. I mean, Ray Butts is great. Yeah, he's a great inventor, and the Filtertron is technically the first humbucker ever invented. I know Gibson and Seth Lover came out with the patent first, but yeah, technically Ray Butts is the first one to come up with a humbucking pickup, which is the Filtertron, which kind of predated the PAF by about a few months, I think. So anyways, all that is to say, I really want to try the Zoomtrons, because they seem like a really interesting pickups, humbucking Dynasonics, okay? And I like Dynasonic pickups. I've used them before in my Gresh White Penguin. I actually kind of miss them. So that's why I was kind of interested in these. I was like, these are supposed to be fatter versions of the Dynasonics, or even the Magnetrons, right? TV Jones sells the Magnetrons. Apparently these are just fatter versions of the Magnetrons or T-Armands, so that's what made me interested in them. Another thing I'm going to do after changing out the pickups is putting on new strings by Elixir. So whenever I get a new guitar, I usually always change out the strings just to make it feel more fresh. So yeah, I usually go with Elixirs, and these are the Nano Webs. I go with the Super Lights. Yeah, let's go with the Super Lights, I mean, to make it even faster to play. So yeah. Again, for Elixir strings, I've always gone with them because they're coated strings. They last a really long time. I don't like to change out strings very often, so I usually go with Elixirs. I've compared them to some of the other coated strings, but like the D'Addario coated ones, they got the Ernie Ball coated ones. Yeah, a bunch of other coated strings, but I always go back to Elixirs. They're just really good. I've used all of them, Nano Web, Poly Web, Opta Web, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I think they're all good, so I usually just pick up the cheapest one, which I guess is the Nano Web this time. So it ended up being the cheapest. So yeah, let's change out the pickups on here. Hopefully it's not going to be that difficult. I remember with my Gresh, it took a really long time to change out the pickups on that guitar. That was a nightmare because it was semi-hollow. So yeah, because it was a semi-hollow, like, if you guys watch my video, it took me like a good couple hours to change out the pickups here, because I had to go through this chambered body. I had to like take out the pick guard, and then go through the chambered body, and then reroute all the tone switches and knobs, and yeah, it wasn't just a simple deal of taking out the old pickups and putting new ones in. No, it was like have to like thread the pickup, the entire pickup through the hollow body and then out through this route. It was crazy, and it was annoying. So yeah, it took me a long time to change out the pickups on this guitar. And like I said, these are also TV Jones Polyandal Duotrons, which are nice pickups too. I could have gone with that for this guitar too, which these Duotrons are a little bit higher output, I'm guessing. The Zoomtrons are probably going to sound closer to a single coil than the Duotrons. Yeah, Duotrons are like similar to Filtertrons, whereas these ones probably going to be in between a single coil and a Filtertron, I'm guessing. All right, so yeah, let's change these out. This one definitely doesn't look as hard as the Gresh does. The Gresh was insane because it was a semi-hollow. So that one took significantly more time than I expected. But for the Revstar, just looks like a simple, just unmount these ones with the screwdriver. So that looks fairly simple. But yeah, change out strings, change out pickups, and then we'll test everything again and see how it sounds like. I mean, we've already tested out the stock Yamaha pickups, right? Okay. Alright, so yeah, this ABR style tailpiece was held in only with string tension. Yeah, that's the Gibson style. Man, so because this is made in Japan, right, that's one of the other differences, is like people talk about, yes, the standard Yamaha Revstar, which is made in Indonesia, is very good quality, especially for what it costs. I wouldn't say necessarily that this is better value, because it's not. Like, this costs 1 point something X more than, yeah, more than double. Let's just say more than double the standard version, and it's not 2 times the quality, but still, you can appreciate the small little details, right? So you guys can see just how polished those frets are. Very nice polished frets, and the setup is all really, you know, intonation. It was all nicely done out of the box, and yeah, this is a set neck, it's not a bolt-on neck or anything. But yeah, everything was just set up right out of the box, and the little details, right? And I think that's what you're paying for the Japan-made quality. So yes, being made in Japan has better resale value, and just everything is just, yeah, a little bit better. It's like maybe 10%, you know, marginally the details are better. So it's obviously not as good value as the Indonesian standard version of the Revstar, but still, you know, if you're getting the Japanese version, it's more like an investment thing. So that's why I like to think of it. But for me, it was more about the color. This color was only on the Japan-made ones, unfortunately. But yeah, of course, the Japan-made ones is also good, a better investment as well. You're getting, yeah, definitely marginally better, better built, better quality instrument, I would say. Just the little extra details, right, in the craftsmanship. That's what Japanese really do best. Okay, so now we're ready to put the TV Jones Zoomtron pickups in. Yeah, I really wonder how these are going to sound compared to Dynasonics or to even the Paul Yandel Dualtrons on my Gresh. Yeah, they're pretty interesting. But yeah, again, a closer look. They're really just like humbucking Dynasonics, right? So, and the other thing is, it's really hard to find demos of anyone using these on YouTube. Like, even TV Jones doesn't really have much of a demo on these. It's, for some reason, these came out like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I've not been able to find many people demoing them at all. Like, virtually just like a few, like 1 or 2 demos on YouTube, that's it. So almost nobody has demos on the Zoomtron pickups. It's that's another reason I'm really curious. How does it sound? Because went on the forums, the Gresh Talk forums, the Gear Page forums, nobody really has any demos of them. Okay, let's take out the Yamaha pickups now. I might just have to resell these pickups then. I'm sure there's people who want these Yamaha pickups, because they're still pretty good. It's just not my style. Just not for me, but they're still pretty good pickups. But then there might be a little bit complicated, because there's this out of phase switches and then the push-pull pot here, which I don't really care about, but we want to make sure that we get this right, so we don't affect those things too much. There might be a little bit extra stuff going on here. So yeah, these pickups say Yamaha Guitar Development. I think that's what YGD, yeah. So the YGD stands for Yamaha Guitar Development. So now I understand what it stands for. Yep, they're Yamaha pickups. All right. Manufacturing by GMB. I wonder what GMB means. Yeah, so this says Yamaha Guitar Development manufactured by GMB. Interesting. Alright, so for this guitar, I'm going to flip it over because part of the controls are actually in the backplate. So that's Gibson style, right? And actually I haven't changed out pickups on too many Gibson style guitars before. I've only done mostly Fenders and Gretsch style guitars. So this is going to be like kind of a new experience for me. But I have to remove the control plate from the back. So that's what I'm going to have to do. So yeah, these humbuckers are there. So to basically remove the screws from here, control plate. Wow, this control plate is really smooth finished. Even the control plate is really smoothly finished, like that. Forgot to mention there's a contour on this side of the body too, just like a Stratocaster, so it's actually very comfortable. Yeah, so this is like a holding a Strat. Very comfortable because there's like a nice contour here carved away. Same thing with the heel here, there's a little bit of a contour. And this back plate is like very smooth too. Yeah, nice. Nice little details here by Yamaha. Okay, so I think I figured out how this works. So basically, for these two pickups here, the neck pickup has this gray wire running through this part. Like there has to be, you have to thread it through the hole in the center section of this body. And this bridge pickup has a black wire, and both of them you have to thread the hole through I guess the body of the guitar, because there is a route here, so they have to route it. You have to thread the cable or the wire through the middle of this route, and they also have to thread it through the body of the route, and it ends up in the control cavity right here. And basically, in this control cavity, they both come out through here, and basically, yeah, there's a place where you can solder the ground. Where you solder the ground to the pot, and then the actual other wire gets soldered to the switches. So yeah, basically with the pickups, usually comes with two wires. One of the wires always goes to the ground, usually the black wire, and then the other wire, the hot wire, goes to the switches. So yeah, I think I see how it works now. So yeah, I see which one goes to switches, which one to the ground. So that's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unsolder the ground ones and the red wire here, and basically it's just two wires I have to worry about per pickup. Right, so I have to unsolder those, and then, oh, oops, this part came off too. Yep, so I have to unsolder those, and then I have to also unsolder it from the pickup switch, pickup selector switch here, which is pretty complicated actually. They have like two sets of pickup selector switches here, and there's also a transformer here as well. I think this is for the passive boost. So anyways, I don't have to deal with that. I just have to unsolder this one first. So let's unsolder it before we resolder. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I don't know, I cannot heat up the solder well, so I'm just going to have to cut it. Yeah, this will be easier. I think so. Just cut this one and this one. And cut both the ground wires. Basically, I cut the ground wire and the hot wires. So then I'm just going to pull out the pickups now. So they shouldn't be soldered anymore. I can just pull them out. Yep, just pull out the bridge and pull out the neck. There we go. So yeah, now you guys can see these are the Yamaha Guitar Development humbuckers right here. I just pulled them out. Back side says Yamaha Guitar Development and manufactured by GMB, whatever that means. So anyways, I'm gonna probably resell these, I guess. Alright, so now I've taken the humbucking pickups out of the Yamaha Revstar. Now it's time to install the Zoomtron pickups. Alright, so do it. Okay, so the neck pickup here actually has to be threaded through the body here. So there's a little cavity you got to thread it through. Make sure ground and the hot wire up there still. Okay, thread it through. This is a lot easier than the Gresh Electromatic Center Block Junior, by the way. That semi-hollow is crazy. Also, I got to make sure to put the clip system in. Maybe I should put in the clip system first, actually. Okay, so how I do that is, so yeah, both of these TV Jones comes with these clips, and that's actually necessary because if you guys haven't noticed, yeah, these Gibson humbucker mounts, yeah, they're definitely like wider. Like if I take a TV Jones Zoomtron here, right, you guys can see, right, I cannot just directly put this here. I have to attach it to this mount right here. So in order to attach it to the mount, I need to have this clip system here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. I'm actually going to take these pickups off the mount, and I'm going to clip on the mount here. Sorry, clip on the suspenders, I guess, little wings, and then put it on. Okay, so yeah, these are the Yamaha humbuckers. I got them off the mounts now because I need to have the mounts. Yeah, so these are the Gibson mounts I need. One of them is actually quite a bit. Yeah, this one's so thin. The neck one's so thin, and the bridge one is so much thicker. Huh, interesting. So yeah, in order to attach the Zoomtrons to where did my Zoomtron go? Yeah. In order to attach the Zoomtrons, this is the bridge one, this is the neck one. In order to attach the Zoomtrons to the mount, I need to have the clip system from the Gresh, so from the TV Jones, sorry. So yeah, this is the TV Jones clip system. I have to first screw it on the TV Jones clip system to the TV Jones pickup, then screw the TV Jones pickup onto the Gibson mount, and then mount it onto the top of this thing. A lot of steps here. Okay, so this is the system here. Okay. I hope my screwdriver should be able to just, yeah, standard Phillips. Awesome. And then I'm gonna pick two main ones here. Thread it through this. Okay, two main screws go through the, so you guys see there's two like main holes here, so I have to put the screws in. Yeah, they include like two longer screws, and I put the two longer screws through these holes. And these holes would then go through the clip-on system here. Yep, like this. Yeah, so they just kind of clip on right to the back like that. So that's how the clip-on system works. So I'm just going to thread them through. Thread these longer screws through. Oh, these are flatheads. Man, why did they make them flatheads? Okay. Why wouldn't they make them all Phillips? Alright, so this is what the Zoomtron looks like with the clip installed. So that's what I have to do for these. Alright, now I've got both clips installed on the TV Jones Zoomtron. That's what it looks like. And then we put it onto the Gibson humbucker mount like this. Okay, that's it. I mean, I got man, this does take a little bit of time, but yeah, you get the clips fitted on to the TV Jones pickup, and then so you got to screw the clips on first, and then you got to screw that on to the Gibson mounting ring right here. So that takes another set of screws. So that's pretty much how you do it, and then that's the neck pickup done. So yeah, it's the neck pickup now mounted onto the mounting ring, and then just gotta put on here. Yep, it just fits on like that. So that's the neck pickup, and you gotta thread it through. So for this one, I also gotta thread it through the body, so that it ends up in the control plate area, or the control cavity, I should say. Come on, get in there. Okay. Okay. See. Thread it through. So yeah, this is the neck pickup, and I thread it through the control cavity area, so you can see that it's coming out right here. So that's a little cable from the neck. Okay, now we got to do the same thing for the bridge. So that was just the neck pickup. Now the bridge pickup, same thing. I think this will have to go like this way, I think. Later on. Yeah, I think it'll have to be this way later on. Okay. Yep. So for the bridge, same thing. I have to screw in the clip system and then screw it onto the Gibson mounting ring. Okay, yep, there we go. That's the bridge pickup now, screwed into the Gibson mounting ring. Yeah, it's annoying, but that's what I had to do. And then, yeah, we can put the bridge pickup here now. Thread it through the cavity hole. Thread it in like this. And then, yeah, we can just put it here. Well, it should fit. There we go. Now if you look at the back here, we should have both the, we have the bridge one, and we have the neck one going through the cavity hole right here. Yep, so we got both of them right here going through. Alright. Now I'm gonna finish mounting this to the body here by screwing in the mounting ring to the body. Okay, so now we got the neck and bridge pickup both mounted onto the body. So that's good. Now we just gotta solder it, finish the soldering work. Alright, so now I'm gonna do the soldering work now. So yeah, basically this is gonna be a little bit tricky because the bridge pickup, I don't think the wire is like long enough. It's like the bridge pickup is like the hot wire has to go all the way here to this end of the pickup selector switch, and the ground has to go here to the pot. And I don't know if the wire is actually long enough. We'll try and see. It might be just long enough. The neck is totally okay, but the bridge is like, that's tough because I just solder it all the way on this side. Okay, well, hopefully this will be okay. worked. All right. Hopefully that worked. I'm not sure about the grounds. I know I got the the hots were soldered correctly. That wasn't too hard, but I'm just not sure about the grounds, because yeah, there wasn't too much space for me to ground the bridge wire. So let's hope that's done correctly. But we can test that out, because we can plug it in and test it out. So, okay, let's plug it in and then use the screwdriver method to test out. See if the pickups were soldered correctly or not. And this is my personal method of testing. I just plug in the guitar, and then I use my screwdrivers to see if it was plugged in correctly. Okay, then let's turn the volume up, and then let's see. If you hear a noise, that means it actually worked, right? So yeah, I hear noise, no buzzing, right? If there's buzzing, that means it wasn't grounded correctly. So no buzzing means that it was grounded correctly, thank God. So neck pickup, right? Bridge pickup should not work because it's neck pickup only. Now neck pickup out of phase, still should be neck pickup. Bridge pickup shouldn't work. Or, I mean, actually no, bridge pickup does work, I guess, a little bit on the out of phase position, because it's sort of an in between maybe. In the middle pickup, both pickups should work. Good. Now bridge out of phase, which I guess this one's like, okay, I get it now. So the out of phase position is the other pickup is like reverse phased, right? So that's why like this out of phase position for the neck, it means that the bridge pickup is like a little bit out of phase, and then the neck pickup is in phase. Middle pickup, both pickups are in phase, right? And then this one means neck pickup's out of phase, bridge pickup's in phase. Right. Okay, you see how it's a little bit different sounding? That means the neck pickup was actually out of phase, and then bridge pickup only, which means no neck pickup, only bridge pickup. Okay. Yeah, everything works. I can turn down the tone knob, and then I can confirm. Oh, sorry. Let's put both pickups on. I confirm that it's different. Right, tone knob, and then tone knob up. Yeah. So that's the tone knob working. Volume down. That means no pickup should have any volume. Yep. So that's good. Push-pull switch on. Off. Okay. Everything works. Nice. But that's interesting. The out of phase, right? So it's the out of phase means the other, the pickup in the other position is out of phase. So on this one, the bridge pickup is out of phase with the neck, and on this one, the neck pickup's out of phase with the bridge. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? This is normally the bridge pickup, right? And then you hear the out of phase position. Pretty interesting, right? Neck pickup, same thing. Neck pickup in phase, and then out of phase. Yeah, slightly different tone. That's cool. Okay, so that's actually how it works, I guess. So the in-between positions is putting the other pickup a little bit out of phase, which is exactly what Yamaha said. So I'm happy that I soldered it correctly, I guess. That's cool. Okay, so that's how I tested it. Yeah, so I guess everything worked well. It was soldered and grounded correctly. If it wasn't grounded, you would be hearing a lot of buzzing and humming. So nothing was buzzing or humming. That means it was actually correctly grounded, which is good too. So now I just got to tidy this up a little bit, tidy the wires up, and then put the control plate cavity on after that. Yep, okay, I think it's... Yeah, thank God everything was grounded correctly. I was afraid, because for the bridge pickup, the wire just wasn't wide enough, and I just put like a little bit of solder on the pot, on the side of the pot. Yeah, basically I put a little bit of solder on the side of the pot here, and then that's where I attached the ground wire to. I just hoped that ground wire would be working, and fortunately it was working. So again, if you guys want to see what I did there, yep, that's how I soldered it up. The bridge wire was really like, it was barely enough to cover it going the hot wire has to go to this the end of this pickup selector, a little tab right here, and the ground wire had to go into the pot, right? And it was like barely enough wire to do that. So, man, I was worried that it wouldn't work, but fortunately it worked. Now I'm gonna put the control plate cavity back on. just for a sanity check, make sure that putting the plate back on didn't mess up any electronics. So just gonna make sure. I'm just gonna test it again. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put on the strings. Okay. Actually, we gotta put this back on and this back on. All right. Yeah. Then we're gonna put on the Elixir strings, nano webs, super lights. All right, man. Okay, there we go. New pickups, the TV Jones Zoomtrons installed, along with new Elixir strings, nano webs. All right, and now we're gonna check it out. Let's run it through the amp again, and yeah, let's see what all the sonic differences are, and maybe playability differences too, since I changed the strings. Okay, stay tuned. All right, so now I have my Yamaha Revstar modified with the TV Jones Zoomtron pickups now. And yeah, let's see if it's a noticeable improvement for me over the stock Yamaha pickups. Because like I said, the stock Yamaha pickups a little bit too high gain, too modern for me. I want something a little bit more vintage flavor. And like I said, the Zoomtron pickups are unique because they're like a humbucking version of the Gresh Dynasonic pickups or T. Armin pickups. So yeah, should be a little bit more vintage sounding, but also with a little bit more punch, and also no hum because it's humbucking. So yeah, that's actually what I wanted before when I had my Gresh White Penguin. I like the Dynasonic pickups, and yeah, it's just like a fatter sounding typical single coil, closer to like a gold foil almost. Like I like gold foils too, but they're not quite as dark sounding as a P90, but they still got a lot of chime and clarity to them. But I always wanted a humbucking version, and finally TV Jones has a humbucking version. All right, let's check them out. So this is the neck, just the neck only, and I have volume and tone up to full. Pretty good. I think a little bit more clarity than the stock Yamaha pickups, but still pretty high output. All right, now I have the bridge out of phase with the neck now. Right now middle, both pickups in phase. Okay, now the neck pickup out of phase with the bridge. Bridge only. Pretty good. Now let's try the passive boost. So this is no passive boost. that's actually like, it sounds more muddy, but also is a bit more, a lot more volume as well. So again, I don't really like this boost that Yamaha used. It just makes the tone sound more muddy. Yes, there's more volume, but it also makes it sound more muddy, right? So like, boost. Yeah. But again, it does add more mids, and I find that this boost actually does work better with the Dynasonics, funny enough. Yeah, that's actually not too bad, actually. So it is like, a little bit muddier, but it's not too bad, actually. I think, for some reason, after installing the Zoomtrons, I think the boost actually works better with the Zoomtrons, because it doesn't seem to sound as muddy as with the Yamaha humbuckers. That's interesting. Yeah, it gets more darker sounding, and it is a little bit more muddier, but at the same time, it's not too bad, actually. I think this is actually okay. It's usable with the Zoomtrons, funny enough. With the Yamaha humbuckers, I just found like it was way too muddy and not really that usable. But with the Zoomtron pickups, I actually feel like it's kind of usable. Like, if I really need like more of a humbucker type of tone, then I could do that. I mean, it is a humbucker already, but if I want a more Gibson, PAF humbucker type of tone, I could do that. So. If I need more mid-range, if I want more bite, more attack, more power, then I can just boost it on, and then it'll go from these humbucking Dynasonics, and it'll just go straight PAF, actually. So it's actually kind of usable, actually. Bridge pickup. Actually, bridge pickup's really raunchy. So this is bridge pickup now. That's super raunchy with the boost turned on. Huh. That's actually, yeah, I think the boost is actually usable with the Zoomtron pickups, ironically enough. It's not as usable with the stock Yamaha pickups, but now that I installed the Zoomtrons, it's actually kind of usable. So this is without the boost. So this is without the boost. Yeah, that boost really pushes these pickups into overdrive. Man, yeah, it actually works pretty well with the Zoomtrons. Neck. Having a version of that with the Eric Clapton signature Strat with that TBX mid boost circuit. I think it's like almost like that. Like I pushed on the boost and it's like a plus whatever dB boost, and yeah, it definitely adds more mid range. So it's like that Clapton Stratocaster where he has that TBX mid boost circuit. Yeah, it's almost like that, actually. And it works a lot better with these TV Jones Zoomtrons, ironically, because I can actually hear a huge difference. And yes, the tone is a little bit darker and muddier for sure, because it's adding more mid-range and lows, but at the same time, at least it's usable for me. Whereas with the Yamaha humbuckers, I felt like, with the stock Yamaha humbuckers, I felt like the boost wasn't really adding that much. But with the Zoomtrons, the difference is actually quite noticeable. So I boosted up, and you guys can hear, right, a big difference, adding mid-range, more lows, and more volume. So it's like... soloing and stuff. Yeah, so it's like if you go into solo, you want to add that extra push. Then if you want to, yeah, if you really want to stand out through the mix, right? Like if you have a solo coming up, he's like playing regular riffs, right? And then you have a solo coming up, you just want to push through the mix, boost it, and then right? It actually works pretty well. It's like a nice solo boost, basically. It's like we're built right into the guitar. It's almost as if I have a pedal, but it's like a built-in pedal, right? It's like just boosting my signal like that. That's really cool. So I actually really like the boost circuit now after I swapped out the pickups. Ironically, it works a lot better with the Zoomtrons than it does with the stock humbuckers. All right, so let's turn on some overdrive. You guys have heard some cleans already, right? So yeah, these Zoomtrons, which are humbucking Dynasonics, have pretty nice cleans, which is what I liked about the original Dynasonics. Actually, it's fatter than the original Dynasonics because they're humbuckers, but without losing that clarity and bite that the Dynasonics originally had. So yeah, it has that nice, beautiful chime, that clarity that Dynasonics are known for, but it's humbucking now on top of that, and it's a little bit fatter. And if you guys are used to Dynasonics or Magnetrons from TV Jones, then this is like a fatter version of that, right? Or T-Armins, right? So you have the TV Jones T-Armins or Magnetrons. These are like, the Zoomtrons are like a slightly fatter version of those. Phase positions, which are just like more nasally versions. Yeah, actually it is interesting because Yamaha said that they wanted to make the in-between positions sound more like the quacky positions of a Strat, and even though this is only 2 pickups, not 3, I think they kind of managed to succeed with that. By making the other pickup out of phase, yeah, it does sound like you're in the middle position of like, or the, not middle, but in between positions of a Strat. So yeah, I mean, making the other pickup out of phase somehow sounds like you're in between another pickup on a Strat, which I guess is sort of what that Strat setup was. Anyways, you have 3 pickups, and in the middle, yeah, the you have one like reverse wound. You had the middle pickup with reverse wound, and then in the in-between positions will be like a little bit out of phase. So I guess that's what the Yamaha engineers were trying to do, is trying to duplicate that Stratocaster in-between tones with this out of phase type of setting here, and I think they're kind of getting that. It's like you do get kind of that quack that you get with the Strat, right, in the in-between positions. This is like a little wing position, right? the solo boost you can use for that. And yeah, I like this guitar a lot after the pickup change, actually. Yeah, so the thing is, yeah, the original stock humbuckers just felt like they were good. They had a lot of clarity, a lot of output and everything, but just, yeah, it doesn't have that vintage type of tone for me, right? After I installed the TV Jones Zoomtrons, it's like, yeah, now I have the vintage style clarity of the tone. Yeah, so now I have the vintage style clarity, right? Look at that, beautiful vintage clarity. Yep, the vintage clarity, and then I also think the out of phase positions work better too. So it's like you have that in between, you know, Stratocaster type of sound. Right? And you have the jangle of a Gresh. And then you had the mid boost, which actually works better with the Zoomtrons. I just felt like they sound better. So you can mid boost it and be like, yeah, it doesn't sound like as much. Well, I just felt like with the Yamaha humbuckers, you boost it and it just sounds like a muddier version of the regular tone. But this one, with the Zoomtrons, it just, yeah, it's a little bit darker and muddier, and more, of course, and more mid-range and more lows. So it feels like it's more usable though. So it's just like a louder, more, yeah, it's louder, higher output. It's just like a solo boost. Yeah, you use it for a solo boost to make yourself stand out in the mix, which is what I think Yamaha originally intended for the boost to work anyways. It's kind of like, yeah, you're boosting your tone so you can stand out in the mix, and it's good for soloing and stuff. So yeah, I think it just works better with the Zoomtrons. I feel like it's more usable. And yeah, let's try out the overdrive now. I'm gonna try the Boss Blues drive. Playing, I love it. And yeah, that was with the blues driver. Now we did. Whoa, JHS Angry Charlie, baby. Yeah, once you turn on the distortion overdrive, oh man, this thing becomes a beast. So don't think that just because these Zoomtrons can do vintage tones that they can't do like high gain tones, because you can definitely just add an overdrive and you can do the high gain tones. It's just that it doesn't overdrive the amp as naturally as the stock Yamaha humbuckers do, because they're not quite as high gain as those Yamaha humbuckers. So yeah, that's really the thing. But I like this better. The TV Jones Zoomtron, I think it's a nice upgrade because yeah, I find there's more dynamics. It's got more clarity. I can get more vintage type of a tone out of it. Yeah, it just sounds like a fatter version of a Dynasonic. I just hear more like better harmonics and yeah, more harmonic complexity, I guess. It's hard to explain, but overall, I do like the TV Jones Zoomtron's upgrade for this guitar. Yeah, compared to the stock Yamaha humbuckers, it's got more clarity, it's got more dynamics, I think the only thing is that the stock Yamaha humbuckers, yes, they have higher output, so they can overdrive the tube amp more naturally. But for me, I didn't care too much about that, because if I want overdrive, I just use an overdrive pedal anyways. So that's why I don't really care for high output pickups. I really don't. Like, high output pickups, you lack the clarity and dynamics of a lower output pickup. You get more mid-range, but you also lack the clarity because you're losing dynamics when you overwind the pickup. And yeah, sure, it overdrives the amp more easily, but you can do that with a lower output pickup just by using a pedal or something. So that's what I'm doing. I'm saying with this actually sounds really good when I use an overdrive. I can easily still get high gain tones out of it. But if I don't want those high gain tones, then this will just sound better naturally and get more dynamics and clarity out of this, right? It's just, yeah, with the stock Yamaha humbuckers, I don't think I can get that level of detail and clarity I can get out of these. So I think these are a really good upgrade. Not to mention, it actually works better with the mid boost as well, right? Yeah, I think that's the problem. So the stock Yamaha humbuckers, because they were so high output, once you push up that mid boost, it's just way too dark sounding, too muddy sounding, because there's too much mids, right? Whereas with these humbuckers, the Zoomtrons, because they have a lot of clarity to begin with, you do the mid boost and it doesn't sound quite as muddy. So I mean, it's still like it's darker, of course, but I think it definitely sounds a lot better. The mid boost definitely sounds a lot better with the lower output pickups. So I think that Yamaha, they should have made their pickups lower output. It's too high output. It doesn't work well with the mid boost, because when you have higher output pickups, you have a mid boost, it's just you're gonna get a lot of mud, right? It's too high output, too many mids, you can get a lot of mud. But when you have a low output pickup and then you mid boost, because a lower output pickup is naturally going to be mid scooped, right? You get more dynamics, but you get a mid scoop as well. Then you push up the mid boost, it fills out the mid frequencies, and then you get a much more smoother tone out of it, a lot more balanced. So I think that's the issue with Yamaha. They should have made their humbuckers, their stock humbuckers, have lower output. Because they're so high output, it doesn't work well with the mid boost. But hey, now I switch out to Zoomtrons, lower output humbuckers. Now it works. You got a lot of clarity, and then you still kind of maintain that clarity even when you mid boost. See, you still kind of maintain that clarity because I mean you had a lot of clarity to begin with. So yeah, that's it, guys. Yamaha Revstar RSP20. Beautiful guitar, I really love it, and even more better now that I switched it out with the TV Jones Zoomtron pickups. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the Yamaha Revstar RSP20, the professional, made in Japan, moonlight blue color, which is exclusive to the professional series. Yeah, it's a really beautiful looking guitar. This is definitely my favorite color out of any of the Revstar guitars by far, which is why I got this version. And I like it even better now that I've changed out the pickups for the TV Jones Zoomtron pickups, which I think are, for me, they sound a lot better than the stock Yamaha humbuckers. I just feel like the stock Yamaha humbuckers just, yeah, too modern sounding, too much output for me. So I definitely like the TV Jones Zoomtron pickups better. And yeah, really comfortable to play, really fast playing neck. I can definitely go really fast on this thing, especially after putting in the extra light Elixir strings. Yeah, overall, really nice guitar. Let me know what you guys think of either the Yamaha Revstar, if you have any questions about that, or the TV Jones Zoomtron pickups, or anything else. Just let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, hopefully my search for guitars, I've bought a lot of guitars over the past year or so, and yep, hopefully this one will be a keeper, and definitely a permanent part of my guitar collection. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think, and as always, thanks for watching.